Hey everybody, it's Jesse here from Pickle Madness, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new JOOLA Ben Johns Perseus 3 in the 16mm variant. So first off, let's talk about some of the differences between this new version and the previous Perseus. In terms of shape, handle size, length, all of that, Perseus 3 is the exact same as the original Perseus. The big difference is in the core, and this is true for all of the new JOOLA Gen 3 paddles. They all have this patent pending propulsion core, which gives these paddles a lot more power potential. Perseus 3 does have a lot more power than the original Perseus, but not in the same way that the Selkirk Power Air has power. It's more of like how the Gearbox Pro Series power paddles have power. It feels more like a trampoline when the ball hits than just a flat board that relies on just pure kinetic energy to put the ball away. Another big difference between all of the JOOLA Gen 3 paddles and the previous models is the NFC chip that is embedded in the handle. Now what that does, that allows you to access your warranty. It's a lot more convenient for you to access your warranty, which by the way is now 12 months rather than 6 months like it used to be. So you now have a year warranty on these paddles, and it's easy to access that with the NFC chip and the handle. So when I played with this paddle for the first time, I noticed that I was able to hit a lot more powerful drives and putaways, but also without losing control. Now the difference between this and the Gearbox Pro Series for me is one, the sweet spot on the Perseus 3 feels much bigger. If you've ever played with the Gearbox Pro Power Series, you can actually feel on the surface of the paddle where that little foam layer is on top, and you can feel the edges of that. And the sweet spot is just a lot harder to find on that than the Perseus 3. And also everything about the Perseus 3 just feels a lot more comfortable than the Gearbox and a lot of other power paddles. The handle is nice as always. JOOLA makes really good handles. The Gearbox for me always felt kind of awkward, and this has the same kind of power, yet with even more control and comfort in my opinion. One thing that I really noticed when hitting hard drives with the Perseus 3 is the ball would go right over the net and immediately drop. I think a big reason for that is the new core, because it compresses a bit more than the previous cores. It gives it a lot more spin because the carbon fiber face is still the exact same as on the previous Perseus model. So that hasn't changed at all, but the core has, and that's given a lot more power and a lot more spin. However, you don't really lose control with this paddle. I think some people were saying that this paddle and the rest of the JOOLA Gen 3 series has kind of an exponential power increase, meaning that if you hit it soft, it's gonna hit softly, but if you all of a sudden hit it really hard, it's gonna increase its power by multiple times rather than just directly correlating with how hard you hit it. And that really allowed me, when I was playing with this, to hit dinks and drop shots like I normally would, but then when I needed that extra power, I could add a little oomph and get a lot more with a lot less effort than previously. This paddle runs at $279, which is definitely on the high end of pickleball paddles out there on the market. Honestly, I believe this paddle can fairly ask that price because it really is different than a lot of other paddles on the market. Like I said earlier, it's like the Gearbox, but more ergonomic and easier to control, which I think is a huge plus. And considering the Gearbox is $275, at $5 more at $279, the price point makes sense if you believe the Gearbox price is fair. Finally, I just want to kind of talk about the aesthetic real quick of the paddle. You can see that it's got a blue edge guard. It starts off light blue, tapers back into the gray, which is what the original Perseus had and all the other previous paddles had, that gray edge guard, and then it tapers back into that light blue color. The 16mm and 14mm version of the Perseus 3, both are going to be the same color. When you're looking to buy the 16 or the 14, make sure that you pay attention to which one you are actually purchasing, because you can no longer distinguish the difference with the colors. Previously, light blue, or kind of that teal color, was the 16, and there was like a lime green yellowish, which indicated the 14, but now it's all this teal color for the Perseus 3. Thank you for watching the Pickle Madness review of JOOLA's new Ben Johns Perseus 3 16mm paddle. If you'd like to purchase one for yourself, you can check the link in the description below. As always, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.